Okay, we haven't met for almost 2 weeks. I check, okay? I met you last Tuesday, and then we have low lessons, and then we met today, okay? Of course, we will meet tomorrow. Okay, anyway, let me do revision first. In the last lessons, almost 2 weeks ago, we know that there are many different chemical constituents, okay? Many chemical constituents, and those with carbon, we call them organic, okay? Organic. And those without carbon, we call them inorganic. And we know the function of water and minerals well. And then in last lessons, we start discussing about carbohydrates. Carbos comes from the word carbon. Hydrate means water. That's why in Chinese, it is called 碳水化合物, carbohydrates. And you have to know carbohydrates. They are elements, okay, we just finished. Carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, okay? And we have to know the types, examples, their characteristics. Hope that today I can go to chemical reaction as well. And I will try showing you some test methods. Okay, remember last time I introduced you how to get the meanings of words that start with mono. Mono means only one. Di means two, okay? Poly means many, and tri, just like triangle, means three. And last time we have the pictures, bicycle, tricycle, right? And then we know that for carbohydrates, there are CHO and the formula of glucose. Bear that in mind, C6H12O6. Okay, I checked from Zhang Chuyi that we stop here. Now we are on page 8. Page 8, okay? And I go back to another. Oh. Okay, here, page 8. Last lessons, we have highlight ACHO, okay? And the chemical formula of glucose is C6H12O6. And I told you that, oh, no need to remember this. We are not studying chemistry. Okay, forget this. And then now, let's go to the type. The type. Here, mono means one. Saccharide means sugar. Now I can separate the word in this way. Mono means one. Saccharide means sugar. There is one sugar. We call them monosaccharide. However, if there are two, we call them disaccharide. Saccharide. If there are many, polysaccharides. Okay? So the smallest one should be monosaccharide, right? Let's look at the diagram here on your textbook, page 8. We are having lessons, okay? Please pay attention, okay? Now let's look at the shape of monosaccharide, disaccharide, and polysaccharide. For the monosaccharide, okay, only one. That's why we call it mono. And then we can make them link together. See, here. That's why we call them disaccharide. And then we can build many of them together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wow, so many in this diagram. I'm not going to count for all, okay? Anyway, I know that there are many, many sugar together. So that's why we call them polysaccharide. Now, each one is a sugar. For example, C6H12O6, okay? Each one is a sugar. And then this one, 2 sugar linked together. And this one, many, many linked together. Okay. Now next, you have to understand their features, their characteristics, and how to test for it. OK， 嚟緊我會講好多，但係大家可以唔使間，我去到後面先至同大家間書下，而家只需要聽，好冇？聽下。OK, for the monosaccharide, you see, for the textbook tells you that there is 1 sugar, being one, just like this one, the smallest. So that's why the book say that it's the simplest, the most simple one. And being a sugar, they are soluble in water and taste sweet. That's why we call them sugar. Okay, if I give you some sugar, you know that, okay, it tastes sweet and it is soluble in water. Okay, I'll show you some example of sugar. I got this sugar from the restaurant in the mall outside opposite the school, okay? This is a sugar, see? Check this, the name is called white sugar, 白砂糖, okay? And then it tastes sweet and soluble in water. You just add the sugar into the tea, Ovaltine, okay? And coffee and so on. And there are 3 examples. Wow, you have to remember them all. Glucose, the examples are, oh, what happened? Glucose, I cannot draw. Something wrong with my Apple pen. Okay, now, glucose, fructose, galactose. Check the name of these 3 types of sugar. They are monosaccharide. Okay. Tell me any common point in the name of these sugars. May I ask? Can you tell me what parts are being the same in these 3 examples of monosaccharide? Look at their name. Look at the spelling.
H-A-L-I-T-E.
H-A-L, no. I'm asking you, check the example of the 3 sugar, 3 monosaccharide. Example 1, example 2, example 3. Look at their name. Glucose, fructose, galactose. Can you see any similarities? Any common point? The others can try. You can type your message. Oh, no, for you. Left. Okay. Anyway, she has tried. Okay. So Jijin, can you find out the similarities in these 3 examples?
They all end in OSE question mark?
Exactly, thank you, good. Okay, they all end with OSE, can you see? OSE. When the word end with OSE, most probably it is a sugar. It is a sugar, okay? So the functions of monosaccharides, we usually focus on glucose. Now, glucose is very, very important. They have one major functions. It gives us energy in a process called respirations. Now, you should have learned respiration in your Form 2. Now, in Form 3, anyway, we just know that respiration is a process to release energy for the cell. And also, it is a building block. What is a building block? That means you build something large from some smaller unit. Okay, I'll show you this one. I guess most of you have built Legos. Okay? We have different smaller size Legos, and these are building block. If I say, hey, this one is a monosaccharide, then this one is a disaccharide. Can you get it? It's a disaccharide. And of course, I can build many on it, okay, and then form the polysaccharide. But I don't have thousands of this one. I don't have, okay, I just have a few in the lab. Anyway, this is the building board and basic unit, okay, and then two monosaccharide together form a disaccharide, okay. The size is almost double. Okay, we go back to book. Okay, now next, we need to know how to test for glucose. Please turn to page 9. You can see this. Okay, I'm going to show you how to test for glucose. And then before testing for it, I need to introduce you one concept. Now, all monosaccharides, actually, there are only 3, okay? The 3. So Jim just told us, okay? All end with OSE. And then the 3 are glucose, fructose, galactose, okay? All of them are reducing sugars, Don't mix it with another English word, reduce. Reduce similar to cut down or decrease something. No, it's not that meaning. Okay, in chemistry, the chemistry teachers will teach you what reduce means in your Form 5. Okay, so you are just Form 3 and you are now studying biology. So I'm not going to tell you what reducing means, but please remember, they are reducing sugar. And you have to test it with it using a test called Benedict's test. Benedict start with a capital letter because it is the name of a scientist, okay? Now, anyway, this part tells you what reducing sugar means. You can read, but please, you don't understand, it is very normal, okay? Or you can just ignore it. You can ignore it, okay? Now I'm going to tell you 2 test methods, tests for the 3 monosaccharide, okay? Now turn to page 11. First we test for glucose. We use some test strips, okay? Now, give you 1 minute with the procedure. Okay, should have finished, okay? Now let's have a quick look together, okay? Look the color of dry glucose test strips. Now, and then later I'll show you, okay? And then add a drop of glucose solution to the well of a spot plate. What is a spot plate? It's this one. And then well is some part that is curved inwards for you to hold some liquid, okay? And then dip the strip into, 即係好似點落去咁樣嚇，點嗰個紙條落去嚇。And then next we have to do control experiment. We'll use these two waters. Now I go to the videos. Okay, see, this is the spot plate. Spot plate. These are wells. Okay, wells 喺英文好似叫井都得嚇。I have a well in my home. 我屋企有口井咁樣嚇。Okay, here there is glucose solutions. I take some glucose solutions and then put it in one well. Okay, 3 drops or 4 drops already. Okay, now this one is the glucose strips. I'll show you the color. It's pink. Okay, I dip it into the solution. Please look at the color change. See? Now I compare the change with a new one. If a new one. Can you see it? Originally, it is pink. Now it turns purple. Purple, you see? If it turns purple, we know that it is reduced, it is glucose. Okay, actually the control setup is water. I have a wash bottle holding some distilled water inside. 蒸餾水嚟㗎嚇。Okay, I put there. Okay, I use this one. I don't waste the test strip. Okay, I dip inside. And then we have to wait, check the color. Because there is no glucose here, so the color does not change, okay? This one, wow, changed so deep in color. Okay, this is the first test. Okay? Next, we know that there is color change, okay? Color change. Next, we go to another test. Turn to page 12. One, I can tell you that this one is a bit complicated. And we test for reducing sugar. Remember, all monosaccharide are reducing sugars. So I can still use the same glucose solutions. Okay, same glucose solutions. Okay, let's go through the procedure first, and then I will show you the steps, okay? I have 2 labels, tube A and B, okay? In A, I will put glucose solutions. In B, I will add distilled water. Next, I will add Benedict solution into both A and B. Of course, mix together, and then I have to shake them, okay? Mix them well. And the reason why I say this one is a bit complicated because I need to heat them in a water bath. It's a boiling water bath for some time, okay, for some times. And then have to shake it regularly. Anyway, let's check the change later. Now I'm going to show you the procedure. First of all, remember, we have 2 test tubes, okay, A and B. For A, I have to add glucose solutions. I add some here. And then for B, I have to add distilled water, okay? Distilled water. Next, I need to add Benedict solutions. Check the color of Benedict solution. It's very beautiful, okay? Blue in color. Then I add some Benedict solution into it. Into tube A and tube B. After using the chemicals reagents, remember to close the lid tightly, okay? And then next, I add 2 liquids, so I have to shake them. Mix them well, okay? A and B. And then procedure number 4, I have to put it into water bath. This is the water bath. And then the book says that we need to wait for 5 minutes. 5 minutes, okay? And then later, we will check what happens to the tubes. Okay, what happened to the tubes? Okay, we have to wait. So I should not wait, just show you the picture, okay? Now, we go back to the textbook. This is another testing for reducing sugar. Okay, wait, Miss Yang, okay, now we need to wait for the results. So I have to ask you to highlight the parts now. You can really highlight the book now. Turn to page 24. Page 24. Just now, I don't ask you to highlight any parts. Now, I want you to highlight this one. Page 24. Actually, the part I have mentioned is here. I use the blue one. Carbohydrates. Please study hard. Please study hard. Carbohydrates are organic. Okay, we always mention that. Made up of carbon. That's why it is organic. There is hydrogen and oxygen forming the water. Okay, and then next, we just now finished monosaccharide. Very simple, okay? Soluble in water and sweet taste. That's why we call them sugar. All are reducing sugars. And you have to remember the example, glucose, fructose, galactose. Glucose, fructose, galactose. And then we know the functions of glucose on point number 7, mentioning about the function, okay? For the glucose, it's broken down in the cell during respiration to release energy. Release energy. And then we just did 2 tests. Test number 1, test for glucose only. We use glucose test strip, and then there is a color change, right? I want you to write the color change here. It is pink to purple. Pink to purple. And then we also carry out the test for reducing sugar. The test is called Benedict's test. We use Benedict solutions, and then the book said we need to wait for 5 minutes, okay? Now, 5 minutes should have passed. Can you see? Great difference. I take them out. Distilled water without glucose， 佢都冇變到。同我望下，呢個係加咗水，呢個比較特別。我哋講下廣東話先。嗱， 個 Benedict solution 係咁樣嘅，你純粹只係將啲 Benedict solutions 溝稀咗，煲一煲佢，冇嘅，只係溝淡咗佢嚇。OK， 咁咧就 Benedict solution 係透明嘅、透光嘅，得唔得？好啦，咁 glucose 嗰個 A 我哋係落咗 glucose 落去噶嘛，同我望下。嗱，呢隻叫咩色咧？當然過咗我哋用 zoom 嚟睇，其實個顏色可能都變咗少少啦。咁但係都可以講佢係咪橙色咧？唔係好係。係咪好紅咧？俾個紅色喺側邊望下先，紅色嘅 lego， 佢又唔係好紅㗎。咁我哋叫呢隻咧，好似啲磚啊，磚紅色啊 ，brick red， 磚紅色啊。咁仲要咧，同我望下頭先嗰樽 Benedict solution 咧係透嘅喎。嗱，台面有點黑色嘢嚇，我經過時候，你見唔見到嗰點黑色嘢係透㗎？OK， 因為嗰樽 solution 係透明啊，透嘅。好啦，去到 Benedict test 呢堆嘢睇唔到啦，結塔塔啦，得唔得？其實咧，佢已經有啲沉澱物 form 咗出嚟啦，一啲叫沉澱物。沉澱物。好啦，咁其實咧就可以睇本書嚇。嗱，你哋陣間提我下，叫我 show 多一次俾你睇。因為我想啲沉澱物沉底啊，等佢沉底。其實而家咧，你同我望下個底應該深色啲嘅，個頂淺色啲。不過經過 zoom 可能都睇得唔清楚嚇。我現場睇咧就好清楚嘅。好，我哋等多一陣，我哋仲有成半個鐘頭先落堂嘅嚇。咁咧就睇下半個鐘頭之後，我哋睇下見到啲咩嘢。OK， we go back to the textbook. The color is brick red, 磚紅啊。And something is formed is called this one. Now I read together with you. PLE pre, CIP sip, PI pit, TATE. ATE is pronounced as 8. TATE is tate. The whole word is precipitate. Precipitate. You know how to read the word, then you can spell the word. 我唔希望大家喺串字咧係死記 PLECIPITATE， 唔好咁樣讀啊，知唔知啊？咁樣咧又辛苦又冇效率又唔準喎。我哋串字應該係咁嘅，識得讀嗰個音 precipitate 係咁樣串佢出嚟得唔得 ？Precipitate。Okay. So for Benedict's test, if they are reducing sugars, a brick red precipitate will form. And actually, you can see the precipitates if you go back to page 9. Let's go back to page 9. Almost. Here. Now, where is the precipitate? See? You look at the results. This precipitate has already sink to the bottom. And then you can see the color is so dense at the bottoms because the precipitate sink to the bottom. Okay, again. Now, that's all about monosaccharide. Now we go to disaccharide. Again, don't highlight any this part, okay? I will tell you, I will explain to you, and then later I will highlight the part on page 24. Okay, again, disaccharide, di means two here, double, okay? Sugar, so that's why we call them disaccharide. And then how to make two monosaccharide linked together to form one disaccharide, just like the Lego, okay? I'll show you. Now, get a pen, highlight this part, highlight. If I want to, this one, if I want to link two monosaccharide together. The name of reaction is called condensation. This is the name of a reaction. And then after condensations, we will form a disaccharide and water molecules. I show you examples. Turn to page 10. Page 10. Here. As we know, glucose is a monosaccharide, okay? Glucose and glucose will form maltose. Maltose is a disaccharide in water. And then write the notes here. The name of reaction is called condensation. Condensation. Oh, similarly, if glucose combined with fructose, then another sugar called sucrose, water will form. Also condensations. The last one, glucose, galactose, combined together will form lactose and water. So for the disaccharide, there are maltose, sucrose, and lactose. Maltose, sucrose, and lactose. They are examples of disaccharide. They are all formed by condensations. OK？ 同學問好多嘢喎，點記呢？俾個 tips 大家下。呢三隻disaccharide，開始個粒字咧，呢個係 M 啦，呢個係 S 啦，下面呢個係 L 啦。你諗起 M、S、L 係咪好似買衫咧，買細碼、中碼、大碼咁樣啊？同我記住啊，大中細碼就係disaccharide。頭先蘇子尖答過一條題目，見到 OSE 尾嗰啲就好似係 sugar 喎，喺呢個位其實都一樣㗎，見唔見到 OSE 啊 ？lactose、sucrose、maltose 都係 OSE 尾。哇！你咪學咗6粒糖都係 OSE 尾咯，係㗎，完全正確，得唔得？咁所以記住，大中細碼係disaccharide。你話誒，咁我使唔使記呢啲咧 ？glucose 搭 glucose 等於 maltose 咧，唉，梗係要記啦。嗱，最容易記係下面呢個 galactose， 見唔見到已經有個 lactose 喺度啦 ，form 咗個 lactose。嗱，我已經幫咗手大家分清楚disaccharide，好冇？咁亦都幫大家記咗呢條咯喎。galactose 同 glucose 夾埋係 lactose， 咁我可以咁樣做。嗱，你睇本書啦，我 show 嗰個糖出嚟啦，咁樣嚇。如果我咁樣做，紅色嘅係我講緊第一個嚇，紅色嘅係 glucose。咁兩粒紅色夾埋咧，其實依粒就係 maltose。第二粒糖叫 sucrose， 咁照樣有粒紅色嘅 glucose。我搭一粒 fructose 喺度先。咁 condensation form 出嚟嘅 disaccharide 呢一粒就 sucrose 啦，得唔得？咁照樣啦，攞粒紅色嘅 glucose 啦。依粒係 galactose 啦，搭埋 condensations， 咁呢一粒就係 lactose， 呢個係 lactose， 得唔得？咁原來有啲唔同嘅，呢三粒disaccharide有啲唔同嘅 ，OK？maltose、sucrose、lactose 係呢個，得唔得 ？OK， 咁我想拆佢咧。將粒disaccharide拆翻去做 monosaccharide 先，呢個拆得，呢個都拆得。 全部都拆得拆散晒，變翻做6粒 monosaccharide。Okay. How to break them? I want to break them. Now, go back to page 9. If you want to break them, then just do the opposite. Opposite. I use the blue one. The opposite is this one, hydrolysis. The name of reaction is called hydrolysis. And I would like you to write down an example on page 10. Page 10. Okay, let's write an example here. Maltose and water. You can break it. The reaction is called hydrolysis. And break it into glucose and glucose. Can you see? Hydrolysis is opposite to condensation. Just break it. And you have to study this part, okay? Study page 10. But now I want you to highlight the other part. Go to page 24. Page 24. Let's highlight the important part here. Now we just finished disaccharide. Example of disaccharide include sucrose, maltose, lactose. Just like you buy t-shirt, okay, small size, medium size, and large size, okay? And how to form this disaccharide? Of course, by condensation. The name of reaction is condensation. Condense 2 monosaccharide together, and then you will have 1 water molecules release. Remove 1 water molecules. And they are sugar. Of course, soluble in water, tastes sweet. Wow. Note this point. Unlike monosaccharide, all are reducing sugar. Here, most are reducing sugar except sucrose. Except sucrose. 好，考下 3D 先。考下 3D 先。我頭先喺 show 咗銀龍嗰一包糖，大家都知道銀龍嗰包糖咧係甜噶嘛。我冇黑板添，我喺側邊寫筆記啦嚇，你哋寫落筆記簿就得嚇。銀龍包糖係甜嘅，不過咧，如果我陣間我走去測試 reducing sugar， 佢真係有呢個出嚟喎。請問銀龍嗰包糖即係邊一隻啊？可唔可以知道啊？嗱，重複佢係甜嘅，銀龍包糖甜㗎嘛，係咪？我測試嘅時候有嘢睇喎，有嘢睇喎。咁究竟佢係邊隻糖啊？嗱，好問下陳燕華 Nelson。Nelson 試下答，係邊隻糖啊？又甜又有反應。陳燕華可唔可以係 glucose 啊？
唔可以。
可以。可唔可以係 fructose 啊？
可以。
可以。galactose 得唔得？
應該唔得。
應該唔得。好，望下先。galactose 咩味？galactose 係咩味？隔離寫咗
甜咯。
甜咯，係啦。galactose 試呢個 reducing sugar 嘅 Benedict test 有冇嘢睇啊？
冇。
咦？ 佢呢個喎 ，all are reducing sugar 喎。咁呢個下面係 是 reducing sugar。佢如果係 reducing sugar，有嘢睇嘅喎。好，所以陳燕話可唔可以係 galactose 啊？
可以。
Yes or no？
No。
No。咦？陳燕話應該有啲位棘住咗。好，嚟，大家全班聽住，全班聽住。太花啦，你俾我拆咁一啲嘢嚇。好，陳燕話可以唔使答住嚇。呢個位一定要分得好清楚。兩隻 sugar 全部都係甜㗎，甜㗎。而呢度 total 有6個 example，OK？呢度有3個，呢度有3個。嗰3個 monosaccharide 全部都係 reducing sugar。如果係 reducing sugar，即係咧就會有下面嗰個 break web precipitate form 出嚟嘅，因為佢 test reducing sugar 噶嘛。所以頭先我就問陳燕華啦，銀龍嗰包糖甜噶嘛，跟住我攞嚟測試 reducing sugar。如果佢係有嘢睇嘅話，咁係咪 glucose 啊？佢話係，可能係啦，可能係呢個啦。陳燕華諗多次，其實可唔可以係 galactose 啊？呢3個係一樣嘅喎，都係甜，
可以。
都係可以啊，係啊，唔該晒。好，揾個女仔問下先。陳雙怡好似未問過你，陳雙怡喺度嗎？
係。
應啊，係 OK。呢條要問呢個啦。銀龍嗰包糖係甜㗎，跟住我就試咗 reducing sugar 呢個啦，佢又有嘢睇喎。好，你同我望住呢一句 ，most are reducing sugar except sucrose。好啦。陳雙怡答，咁即係佢可唔可能係 maltose 啊？可唔可以啊？
可以。
可以，好。可唔可以係 sucrose 啊？
唔可以。
唔可以。咁可唔可以係 lactose 啊？
可以。
Exactly。好，我知道陳雙怡明白我講緊啲乜。我希望其他同學都明白，好唔好啊？咁佢係啱嘅。如果銀龍嗰包糖又甜又有 break web precipitate，咁即係咧可能係上面呢3個加呢個 maltose 同 lactose，但唔會係 sucrose 咯，好唔好啊？咁調翻轉啦，如果甜大家都知啦。不過下面 break web precipitate 冇嘢睇嘅話，咁我知道佢係 sucrose 啦，好冇？好，不如一齊做一次啦，一齊做一次。咩？銀龍包糖喺度，攞個 beaker，好，我倒少少糖出嚟嚇。我專登開少少嘅啫，即係個窿細細地啊！我教3班咧，每班睇少少。好，咁我攞翻又係呢樽 distilled water 啦，咁啊擠啲水落去啦。哦，啲嘢點解叫做 soluble in water 咧 ？soluble in water 嘅意思，即係點樣係 soluble 咧？就係你攪佢嘅時候咧，你會溶咗㗎，得唔得？講下先，翻少少先，好，用埋佢。好，溶咗佢之後咧，跟住用翻頭先嗰個做法喎，我倒落支 test tube 嗰度啦，倒落支 test tube 嗰度，睇下銀龍包糖係點先。好，跟住我哋又攞翻樽 Benedict solution 出嚟啦，咁咧就倒少少落去啦。 咁咧有手尾啊嚇，所有開完嘅嘢要即刻刪咗佢。跟住咧，我哋就 shake 佢啦。shake 完之後咧，又放落去煲啦。好，本書話要等5分鐘噶嘛。好，唔該晒。咁咧，5分鐘我哋仲有幾耐落堂咧？仲有成10分鐘先落堂嘅，綽綽有餘啦。咁咧，我哋攞翻頭先嗰樽嘢嚟望下先。我希望你哋睇到咧。OK，個底係深色啲嘅，個頂係淺色啲嘅。我陣間希望可以影到張靚相嚇，我 send 俾科長，send 俾科長，跟住咧就 send 佢俾全班啊，寫低先影相。我 send 俾阿曾卓儀下 ，OK， 俾你睇下嗰個 precipitate 沉澱物啊，佢叫得沉澱物，即係沉底噶嘛，好唔好啊？好 sucrose 咧，我哋就等我又話要等咁耐，咁我哋就繼續教書啦。咁我哋去 polysaccharide 啦 ，turn to page 11。Here again, and you just listen and then look at the pictures. Later, I will highlight the part on page 24 for you. This time, poly means many. Saccharide means sugar. Okay, so polysaccharides, that means many sugars together. And since there are many, so the size is very large. How do they form? Again, you make larger molecules. It's done by condensations. And for polysaccharide, they are insoluble in water. Insoluble, or only slightly soluble. And then again, there are 3 examples: glycogen, starch, and cellulose. And then we can test for one of them. You should have done it in your form 2, test for starch, okay? Anyway, show you the picture. Glycogen is here. Actually, you can see nothing from the pictures, okay? Starch is this one, starch. Okay, these are starch grains, okay? And the cellulose is this one. I know that at this moment, you don't understand what they are. Forget them. Just remember the name. And then for the starch, we do iodine test. I'm sure that you have done it in your form 2. Iodine test, just add the iodine solution into it. Okay. Let's go to page 24, highlight the important part first. Here. For polysaccharide, the 3 examples are starch, glycogen, cellulose. Starch, glycogen, cellulose. And they are complex. Again, the bigger one is formed by condensation of large number of, I want you to change the name, of glucose. They are all formed from glucose. And they are insoluble in water. Insoluble. Show you that they are insoluble. And今次俾一個 starch， 不如咁啊，我問下同學啊，有啲咩食物係充滿 starch 咧？黃子琪，揾一個食物係充滿 starch 嘅俾我睇，俾我聽。黃子琪，
係。聽唔到你講嘢，聽唔到你講嘢，聽唔到。喺度喺度。喺度。
澱粉嗰啲，就係麵包啊、粥粉、麵粉、意粉嗰啲啦。咁我估大家屋企都有呢個鷹粟粉嘅。鷹粟粉嘅英文，同我望下，叫做 corn starch。corn 係粟米 ，starch 係澱粉，係喺粟米攞翻嚟嘅澱粉，所以叫做粟粉。個牌子係鷹 ，OK， 所以成個名叫做鷹粟粉，得唔得 ？OK， 咁咧我就攞少少出嚟啦。鷹粟粉我估大家屋企都有啦。咁咧即係我哋煮餸嘅時候叫生粉啊。咁攞啲鷹粟粉出嚟先。嗱，頭先我示範咗用銀濃嘅糖俾你睇下。咁咧，我去攞翻我哋嗰樽 distill water， 我哋由頭到尾都用 distill water。嗱，頭先銀濃係溶嘅，溶完之後唔見咗嘅。咁我攞 distill water， 一路攞一路搞啦。啲牛奶咁樣嚇，好多啲。嗱，如果溶咗嘅話咧，佢應該唔見咗㗎。好似銀濃嗰啲糖咁樣咧，成包糖應該係唔見咗嘅。你話老師，你落咗咁多 starch 落去，咁多就梗係冇嘢睇啦，係咪？即係要好耐先溶啦，好多先溶啦。好啦，其實我落咗好多水㗎咯喎，佢仲有喎，得唔得？仲有啊！嗱，呢個小測試咧，你可以自己屋企做。你攞個細杯仔，攞少少生粉，即係其實鷹粟粉啊。跟住你攞啲水攪下佢，跟住你停咗喺度咧，靜止喺度。其實你攪極都攪唔到嘅，佢唔會溶嘅，唔會溶嘅。OK， 咁呢個就係個 starch 等陣。我 show 多一次俾你。頭先嗰個沉澱物，我睇下喺黑色嘅背景會唔會好睇啲？好。咁咧就其實係頂嗰度淺色啲啊，嗱個底係深色啲嚇。咁其實沉，我俾佢一路擠。聽朝我會見到大家，我聽朝俾翻呢兩杯大家睇，得唔得？咁我陣間 label 咗佢咧係 3D， 聽朝俾你望下一啲叫做沉澱物，另一個咧係 insoluble 嘅 starch， 好冇 ？OK 好，今日講到呢度 ，OK 再見。